You like stuff, I like stuff. Everyone here takes different things from what we watch. It's possible to enjoy something from a show that overall wasn't great. The same goes for characters. There are times I end up enjoying them regardless. Do I blindly like them? No. I understand why someone would hate this or that. I hate Hunter because he got nothing to do. He's always felt second fiddle to Shane and Blake. He was only used to push footage forward. Hunter stopped being a person. He crossed that line of character to plot device. That's one of my personal ways of judging something. Does the character, place, thing have a purpose, a goal besides just moving the story? Are they a clone of another character with just a different taste? Comic books have really soured me in that area, so I'm more harsh on stuff like Victor and Monty when they're stepping into the shoes of Bulk and Skull. It's not because they're reusing stuff, but in their case, they're usually interfering with the episode. Characters can do their job while they got very little to do or are annoying. They were unique where I can still appreciate them. Thanks goes to Sam Cantor for this topic, and if you want to leave an idea of your own, leave a comment down below.
Auric!
If you want to talk about a character that's just there, Auric's just there. But I really love that Zeo took so many different designs from cultures and mashed them together as Zords and allies. It gave them a starting personality that was different from dinosaurs and ninjas. Auric was one of those ideas I wish they'd do in other seasons. He's a full-size Zord that's alive. I mean, you have a ton of questions. Where did he come from? Did someone build him? Is he natural, meaning from a species of robots? Lots of potential that sadly doesn't get used. We know he was important. Tanya's parents almost died for him, and the villains knew he had a great power, but that's it. Auric doesn't compromise the season, added some life to Tanya's backstory, and connected Tanya with Jason. If he had gotten a few more solo episodes, or if he had come back in a later season, I think more people could see him as a character than just a toy to sell.
Ninjor!
I always found him fun. His voice never bothered me. Ninjor was used in ways to fill in some of the MMP lore, although it screws up things with the power coins. He was still a good sub-mentor. You'd think Zordon and Ninjor being in the same season would cause issues, but because Zordon is more passive, his insight worked in other areas for the Rangers, while Ninjor covered the ways of the ninja. I had hoped we would have found out he had a connection to Dulcia from the film. I really hated the rice nonsense between the film and the TV series. It would have been nice if she could have come back and worked with him for a short time. It'd be interesting if we found out she was a white alien ranger. I'm always a sucker for the odd character, less human, the better chance of coming up with something new.
Professor Phenonymous!
The Professor was a needed evil. Bulk and Skull have been around for years. They've done everything that these characters could do, from food, pratfalls, horrible monkeys, to private investigators. Since they didn't want to go in the direction of having them become Rangers, what could you do with Bulk and Skull that's new? And dealing with the Rangers going towards space, they introduced Professor Phenonymous. They needed a way to screw up, but not ruin what they've learned over the past 4 years. This is one of the major problems with the Pokemon series. Ash Satoshi always reset. He can learn stuff for years, all for it to be wiped out at the start of a new journey. You can do that so much until a person gets fed up with it, which is why I abandoned that show. Phenonymous introduces the duo to things they don't know anything about, so they have a reason to goof up, which gets them back into their comedy mode. Plus, Phenonymous himself also is an oddball character, which makes them feel like the Three Stooges. I never got annoyed at any of them during the episodes. Many times their mess-ups pushed the story forward while not directly helping out in the space season. They complemented and filled those times when the show had a void. Phenonymous was just like Stone, not as memorable, but he did the job well.
Genji!
It was something different. He was the kid of the season, very impulsive, whiny, and acts without thinking, which is what got him in trouble in the first place. The reason why he was trapped in the lamp was because his greed got to him, and again, thanks to Genji taking it personal with everyone giving so much attention to Fireheart, he decides to run away. Good job, Cat. Good job. Genji had the most flaws out of the entire Mystic Force team. Instead of being just noble, he did things more in line like Robin Hood, helped, but also tried to get personal gain from this. The same thing happened from Prince Philip in Dino Charge. The arc is small, but he in return learned from his mistakes and even helped out Madison, who was also going through similar issues. I honestly enjoyed Genji over Nick in that regard. I wish Genji got more focus episodes, something like him helping out Fireheart, training him, and even grant the battleizer ability to Nick. And people always forget that he's a genie. That gives him a lot of power. Too bad they didn't go in the direction of Martian Manhunter, where Genji can turn into a human and work at the Rockporium.
Zeltrax!
They could have done so much more with this character. That's his major flaw. A lot of people found him pointless because he was just there for footage reasons, but I found the idea good. Think about it from his point of view. We have to assume Tommy met him when he was getting his doctorate, then got involved with Anton and the Biozord stuff. Tommy won out on the job, so he got pissed, left the company, and went to do something else, probably to beat them at the punch, which could have been the reason of the explosion in the first place, but instead of blaming himself, he blames Tommy, so Mesogog used that anger and created Zeltrax. He had a very similar progression to Goldar, hates Tommy for betraying him, and was turned into a goofball at times. It was his driving force that I got behind. I would have loved to have seen one episode that linked Tommy's departure from Turbo to Dino Thunder by using Smitty as a bridging point. It was also good that he was never redeemed. PR tends to lean on people that used to be human ending up being saved at the last minute. No, he deserved everything he got. Had no respect towards Tommy. He wants to murder Tommy over losing a job position with Mercer. You are beyond petty, especially after all the stuff Tommy has done for the planet. That's why I liked him. He's complex, just not used.
Danny.
Was never give up annoying? Oh god, yes it was. But Danny had an arc in the season. Danny was similar to Billy, besides smart. He was shy and scared of becoming a ranger, but he went through it. Got up the courage to like Kendall. Helped people where he could. Dealt with Taylor being mean to him. Helped Max, and Max helped him. It was also fun because he would be the weird one, waking up with a stuffed bear, do some things in the background, kept the character alive. Besides Taylor, he had a personality that you could like. Look at Max. Except for 2 episodes, the Giraffe Zord and the Bowling Ball episode, he got nothing to do. Whether you liked Wild Force or not, Danny was handled the best out of the secondary rangers.
Madison.
I like Madison. Why? Because she was the least messed up in Mystic Force. Being mostly ignored, she never became annoying. She always helped out in the background, didn't fall into traps like her sister, the most mature out of everyone. She's even self-aware that she does basically nothing. I'm not saying it was right, but she didn't get messed up or got you pissed off when Nick stole focus. I like Chip and Vita too, but they got ignored after the first 10 episodes, which just a few things here and there. It wasn't a footage problem either. Maji Ranger handled all 6 Rangers pretty good. So by having the least amount of focus, she got the least amount of damage, plus she saved Genji's butt. If I had to bring people back from Mystic Force, Chip and Madison would be top priority.
Riley.
Yeah, sadly this guy got ignored, and I mean really bad. This is why I hated having 10 Rangers. I mean, everyone suffered, but do you even remember Riley? I think at best he got 3 good focus episodes, and it was usually about the same thing, either showing his intelligence or his specialty skills. He didn't really get anything else to do. I wanted to know more about him. He's the one who started off with the family, and that didn't even get explored. I found him more interesting than Chase. Chase became a New Zealand meme. Riley was smart, but didn't act smug. He's the guy who saves the team in the shadows. Being a swordsman was more interesting than the others. I would have liked the Xenowing episode if he was also used. Riley and Xenowing are the team of nobodies, which is sad.
Dax.
I'm not backing down from this one. Besides Tyzon, I enjoyed Dax in Overdrive. He was the least problematic on the team. Yeah, he was a goofball, he said stupid things and was a walking reference to episode titles, but I never had a problem with that. I mean, all the characters can get on your nerves. Dax at least was consistent. He even had that episode with Miratrix. His backstory is about some regular guy who worked on movies. That's something new. I wish they had done more things with that. This is where Movie Madness could have worked. That would have been a nice reference in Overdrive. I understand why people don't like him, but Will is far worse than Dax. Dax at least stays with his team and helps. Will just quits and complains he can't cheat every 5 minutes.
Blue Centurion.
I will always disagree with what everyone says about the Blue Centurion, but I'm also not going to say he's better than Phantom Ranger. That would be stupid. But I never understood why people always like to ignore him. He came from a different planet, had a message that was erased by Diva Talks. He is weird being from a race of cop robots, but he was harmless to the season. His jokes never got on my nerves. His tech and Zord were interesting. He was stuck up with the whole cop thing, but that's what he was supposed to do. He got a little bit of stuff to do with Justin. Him being tricked into thinking the Rangers were bad was a good introduction. I will always see him as Turbo's 6th Ranger. He fills all the requirements. Everyone except Robo Knight, Orion, and Tyzon. What makes the Blue Centurion any different? You can totally disagree on these characters. You can hate them. They do have flaws and issues. I'm not going to say they don't, but they just have enough material given to them, and I didn't find them annoying where I could appreciate them. What are your secret likes in the PR universe? How about Elgar? There's gotta be someone out there that likes him. Do you agree with some of mine? New episodes every Monday. Next week, 10 ways Ninja Steel could be better.